She made a promise and it is something that she has remained true to all of her life and will continue to do so.
The royal family has long been a stage for subtle alliances and quiet power plays, but few moments have captured the intrigue quite like Duchess Sophie's recent appearance at the French State Banquet. Draped in elegance and crowned with the shimmering Aquamarine Tiara, Sophie not only turned heads, but also sent a clear message through the corridors of Buckingham Palace. This wasn't just a display of jewellery, it was a bold alignment with Princess Catherine, the future Queen, in a move that left Queen Camilla watching from the sidelines, unable to intervene. For years, the monarchy has navigated the delicate balance between tradition and personal ambition, but Sophie's choice to don this particular piece, a convertible tiara with its wavy diamond design and central aquamarine stone, highlighted a deeper shift. It reminded observers of the unspoken hierarchies that Queen Elizabeth II had carefully outlined before her passing, emphasizing that figures like Princess Anne, Duchess Sophie and Catherine hold a firmer grasp on the royal image than Camilla ever could. This event unfolded against a backdrop of mounting speculation about internal dynamics. Sophie, often seen as the understated workhorse of the family, has steadily risen in prominence, taking on patronages and international trips that echo the late Queen's own dedication. Her appearance in the tiara, valued at over £1 million and a personal favourite, wasn't accidental. It came at a time when Catherine has been stepping back into the public eye after health challenges, and Sophie's support has been evident in joint engagements and shared causes. But why this tiara, and why now? The answer lies in the intricate web of royal jewellery distribution, where access isn't just about rank, but about legacy and loyalty. Camilla, as Queen Consort, has dipped into the vaults for her own moments of splendour, yet her influence stops short of dictating who wears what. Sophie's choice underscored that point vividly, proving that even in matters of sparkle, the true power brokers are those who embody the monarchy's enduring values. As the banquet lights glittered, so did the implications. Sophie's promotion to Duchess of Edinburgh in 2023 had already elevated her status, freeing her from certain protocols like curtsying to lower-ranking royals. Now, with this tiara debut, she seemed to be claiming a visual stake in the family's future. Observers noted how the piece, with its clever hidden trick allowing it to convert from a necklace, symbolised adaptability, much like Sophie's own role in bridging generations. Meanwhile, Camilla's absence from influencing the selection spoke volumes about her position. Queen Elizabeth's final wishes, whispered in the months before her death in 2022, had reportedly included reminders for Camilla to recognise her boundaries. In a family where jewels are more than adornments, they are symbols of authority. Sophie's moment was a quiet triumph, aligning her firmly with Catherine and leaving the rest of the world to ponder what comes next. Duchess Sophie, once known as Sophie Rhys-Jones, has always been the royal who thrives away from the flashbulbs. Yet her influence has grown steadily, much like a vine wrapping around the ancient walls of Windsor Castle. Born into a middle-class family, she entered the monarchy through marriage to Prince Edward in 1999, bringing with her a background in public relations that equipped her for the subtle art of royal diplomacy. Over the decades, Sophie has transformed from a newcomer navigating scandals to a pillar of stability, patron of over 70 charities, and a figure whose quiet dedication mirrors that of the late Queen. Her recent roles, including becoming the first royal to visit Ukraine in 2024 to meet President Zelensky, have cemented her as a global ambassador, earning praise for her empathy and resilience. What sets Sophie apart is her ability to blend tradition with modernity. Unlike the more flamboyant members of the family, she has focused on causes like women's rights and disability awareness, often stepping in during crises without seeking the spotlight. This approach has won her favour with Prince William, who reportedly approves of her taking on key positions that support his vision for a streamlined monarchy. Sophie's elevation to Duchess of Edinburgh wasn't just a title change, it was a recognition of her contributions, allowing her to bypass outdated protocols and focus on substantive work. In interviews, she has spoken modestly about her role, dismissing labels like secret weapon while emphasizing her commitment to service. Yet beneath this humility lies a strategic mind, one that has aligned her closely with Catherine, sharing similar values of family first and public duty. As Sophie approaches her milestones, her bond with Catherine has become increasingly visible. Joint appearances at events like Trooping the Colour and shared patronages highlight a sisterly alliance, one that contrasts with the more formal dynamics elsewhere in the family. This partnership isn't born of convenience, but of mutual respect, with Sophie offering guidance drawn from her own experiences of entering the royal fold as an outsider. In a monarchy facing scrutiny over relevance, Sophie's rise represents a return to core principles, duty without drama, that Queen Elizabeth championed. Her choices, from patronages to public engagements, collect threads from the family's history, weaving them into a narrative that strengthens the institution. But as her profile grows, so does the tension with those who see her as a threat to established power structures. At the heart of this royal drama lies the Aquamarine Tiara, a piece that Duchess Sophie wore with effortless grace at the July 2025 French State Banquet, turning a formal event into a statement of intent. Crafted with diamonds and aquamarines in a floral motif, this tiara isn't from the main royal collection, but a personal item gifted to Sophie, convertible from a necklace for versatility. Its appearance marked a gorgeous promotion in the eyes of royal watchers, as Sophie paired it with a sequined gown, evoking bridal elegance while asserting her place among the family's elite. The banquet, hosted at Windsor Castle, was a display of diplomatic glamour, but Sophie's choice elevated it, drawing comparisons to historical moments when jewels signalled shifts in power. This wasn't Sophie's first tiara outing, but it felt different, more pointed. In September 2025, she donned the lotus flower tiara at another event, further showcasing her access to coveted pieces. These appearances collect information from the royal vault's history, where tiaras like the Aquamarine have been worn by figures embodying poise and loyalty. Sophie's selection reminded attendees of her growing role, especially as she received a new royal order from King Charles, symbolizing official recognition. The tiara's design, with its hidden mechanisms for adjustment, mirrors Sophie's own adaptability, allowing her to navigate royal life with quiet confidence. The event's details paint a picture of calculated elegance. Sophie arrived alongside Prince Edward, her presence complementing Catherine's, who wore the lover's knot tiara, a nod to shared traditions. Whispers in the hall suggested this was more than fashion, it was a visual alliance, with Sophie's tiara choice underscoring her independence from centralized control. Royal correspondents noted how such pieces are loaned or chosen based on merit, not just rank, highlighting Sophie's earned status. In developing this idea, one sees how jewels serve as narrative tools, each gem collecting stories of past wearers while projecting future intentions. Sophie's moment wasn't fleeting. It was a chapter in her evolving story, one that positions her as a key player in the monarchy's image building. Queen Camilla has never hidden her appreciation for the royal jewellery collection, often selecting pieces like the Queen Mother's diamond necklace or historic tiaras for state occasions. Yet, in the case of the Aquamarine Tiara and similar items, her influence appears limited, as evidenced by Sophie's unchallenged wear. Reports suggest Camilla had eyed certain convertible pieces for their versatility, but the distribution remains under the monarch's ultimate control, with input from family members like William. This dynamic reveals Camilla's position, access without absolute authority, a reality that became stark during Sophie's banquet appearance. Camilla, present at the event, could only observe as Sophie shone, unable to dictate the jewellery's assignment. This powerlessness stems from the collection structure, where personal items like Sophie's tiara bypass communal vaults. Camilla's own selections, such as the Burmese ruby tiara or controversial Koh-i-Noor alternatives, have sparked debates, but they don't extend to vetoing others' choices. Insiders claim Camilla's role is more ceremonial, focused on her duties, rather than managing the entire inventory. In developing this narrative, one gathers from historical precedents. Queen Elizabeth controlled distributions meticulously, ensuring jewels reflected loyalty over ambition. Camilla's history, marked by her ascent from consort to queen, adds layers. Her picks reinforce her status, but Sophie's independent access challenges that. The tiara incident thus becomes a symbol of broader limitations. Camilla's inability to intervene highlights how the family's jewellery isn't hers to command, reminding of Queen Elizabeth's framework, where core members like Sophie hold sway. This event collected whispers from palace sources, painting Camilla as a figure of influence but not dominance, especially when pitted against alliances like Sophie and Catherine's. In the end, the sparkling display wasn't just about beauty, it was a quiet assertion that true power in royal affairs lies beyond the crown's immediate wearer. Before her death in September 2022, Queen Elizabeth II reportedly laid out clear boundaries for the monarchy's future, including pointed reminders for Camilla to know her limits. Sources close to the palace suggest these words, shared in private meetings, emphasized that while Camilla would be queen consort, her role should defer to blood royals like Princess Anne, Duchess Sophie, and the future Queen Catherine in matters of image and affairs. This distribution of power wasn't formalized in public statements, but echoed in her 2022 Jubilee message endorsing Camilla's title with caveats. Elizabeth's vision, gathered from biographies and insider accounts, prioritized stability, warning against overreach that could tarnish the institution. These statements collect from a lifetime of experience, where Elizabeth navigated scandals and transitions. She viewed Camilla's integration as necessary but bounded, ensuring figures like Sophie, whom she admired for her work ethic, retained prominence. Reports from books like The Palace Papers hint at Elizabeth's reservations, balanced by her final endorsement. In developing this idea, one sees how her words shaped dynamics. Camilla's controversies, from jewellery choices to public perception, test those limits. Sophie's tiara moment revived these echoes, showing Elizabeth's framework in action. The late Queen's philosophy was rooted in legacy, bloodlines over consorts. Her alleged directive that Camilla respect the stronger roles of Anne, Sophie and Catherine in building the royal image underscores this. Palace aides recall her insisting on merit-based influence, a principle that now plays out in events like the banquet. Elizabeth's passing didn't erase these guidelines. Instead, they linger, guiding the family through subtle reminders like Sophie's assertive display. Princess Anne, Duchess Sophie and Princess Catherine form a formidable alliance in the royal family, each contributing to a stronger image than Camilla's more contested role. And with her tireless engagements and no-nonsense approach, embodies duty, often outpacing others in workload. Sophie complements this with her empathetic outreach, taking on patronages like Plan International UK that echo Elizabeth's beloved causes. Catherine, as the future queen, brings modern appeal, focusing on early childhood and mental health to connect with younger generations. Together they represent continuity and relevance, gathering support from public polls that rank them highly. Their dynamics contrast with Camilla's, whose background as a later entrant invites scrutiny. Anne and Camilla share a history of mutual respect, but tensions arise in power distribution. Anne's blood royal status gives her edge. Sophie's growing role, approved by William, positions her as a bridge, siding with Catherine in shared events. This trio's strength lies in their collective narrative. Anne's endurance, Sophie's adaptability, Catherine's charisma. In royal affairs, they handle crises with grace, from health scares to diplomatic trips, building an image of resilience. Camilla's contributions, like her literacy campaigns, are notable, but her past controversies dilute impact. The trio's alignment, evident in joint appearances, underscores Elizabeth's vision, stronger roles for them in affairs. This isn't rivalry, but hierarchy, where their combined efforts sustain the monarchy's appeal far beyond individual sparkle. The tiara event peeled back layers on the monarchy's power structure, revealing how Queen Elizabeth's framework limits Camilla while empowering Anne, Sophie, and Catherine. Jewellery management, symbolic of broader authority, isn't centralised under Camilla. Instead, it's distributed based on legacy and merit. Sophie's access to personal and loaned pieces shows this: Camilla can't override choices that align with family consensus. This reminds of Elizabeth's alleged pre-death directives, ensuring consorts know boundaries while blood royals lead image building. In practice, this means Anne handles equestrian and military affairs with autonomy, Sophie international diplomacy, and Catherine public engagement strategies. Camilla's role, while significant, focuses on support without the same depth in legacy. Palace dynamics collect from engagements. The trio's higher approval ratings reflect their stronger positions. Sophie's promotion through tiara wear and new orders highlights this shift, proving Camilla's influence has limits. This distribution safeguards the monarchy, preventing overconcentration of power. It echoes historical models where consorts advise but don't dominate, allowing figures like Sophie to thrive. The event wasn't isolated. It was a manifestation of enduring structures, where true power flows through those embodying Elizabeth's ideals. The glittering spectacle of Duchess Sophie's appearance in the Aquamarine Tiara at the French State Banquet in July 2025 was more than a moment of elegance. It was a beacon illuminating the monarchy's evolving path. As the echoes of that evening fade, the implications for the royal family's future grow sharper, revealing a landscape shaped by alliances, legacy, and the delicate balance of power. Sophie's bold alignment with Princess Catherine, underpinned by the unspoken endorsement of Princess Anne, signals a monarchy poised for transformation, where Queen Camilla's role, though significant, remains carefully circumscribed by Queen Elizabeth II's enduring framework. This moment, steeped in symbolism, forecasts a streamlined institution where Sophie, Catherine, and Anne lead the charge in redefining the crown's image for a modern era. Sophie's rise, marked by her elevation to Duchess of Edinburgh in 2023 and her increasing visibility, suggests a future where she takes on even greater responsibilities. Her recent diplomatic engagements, such as her historic visit to Ukraine in 2024, demonstrate a capacity for international influence that aligns with Catherine's vision for a relatable, impactful monarchy. Together, their partnership, evident in shared patronages like early childhood initiatives and women's empowerment, forms a powerful axis. This alliance isn't merely strategic, it's a fusion of shared values, blending Sophie's seasoned empathy with Catherine's forward-looking charisma. Their joint appearances, from Trooping the Colour to charity galas, collect public goodwill, reinforcing their roles as stewards of the royal image. Anne, with her unmatched work ethic and no-nonsense approach, anchors this trio, lending gravitas drawn from decades of service. Together, they embody Queen Elizabeth's vision, a monarchy sustained by blood royals who prioritise duty over personal ambition. Camilla's position, while elevated by her title as Queen Consort, faces constraints that this event laid bare. Her influence, particularly over symbolic assets like the jewellery collection, is limited by the family's consensus and Elizabeth's pre-2022 directives to know her limits. Palace sources suggest Camilla's focus remains on supporting King Charles III through literacy campaigns and public engagements, but her past controversies, tied to her ascent and jewellery choices like the Burmese ruby tiara, curb her ability to dominate the narrative. Sophie's tiara moment, approved by figures like Prince William, underscored this reality, showing that true power flows through those who inherit Elizabeth's mantle of merit-based leadership. Camilla's role, though vital, is one of collaboration, not control, and her inability to sway Sophie's choice highlighted the boundaries Elizabeth set. Looking ahead, the monarchy's trajectory hinges on these dynamics. Sophie's growing prominence could lead to expanded roles, perhaps in global diplomacy or high-profile patronages, mirroring the late Queen's own versatility. Her bond with Catherine, strengthened by shared challenges as outsiders turned insiders, suggests collaborative projects that could redefine royal outreach. Think joint campaigns on mental health or education, areas where both excel. Anne's continued presence ensures stability. Her 500-plus annual engagements a testament to her indispensability. Yet, uncertainties persist. If Camilla seeks to assert more influence, perhaps through Charles's backing, tensions could ripple. The trio's unity, however, acts as a counterbalance, their combined approval ratings consistently high in 2025 YouGov polls, fortifying their position. This tiara incident wasn't a singular event but a chapter in a broader saga. It collected threads from Elizabeth's reign, weaving them into a narrative of resilience and adaptation. Sophie's choice to shine alongside Catherine, under Anne's steady gaze, signals a monarchy that can evolve without losing its roots. As James, Earl of Wessex, approaches his own crossroads, the family's future may rest on whether younger royals follow this path of duty. Will Sophie's prominence inspire others, or will the allure of independence, as seen with Lady Louise, prevail? The world watches, captivated by a palace where jewels tell stories, alliances shape destinies, and a new generation prepares to carry the crown forward. Time, and perhaps another dazzling display, will reveal the next act.